Little notes I had from y'all's updates. Congrats to AJ's pops for converting to white collar. I think it's a good choice, especially if your body isn't treating you the same anymore. I'm pretty happy with that transition when I made it. It's got to focus my physical energy on the things that I wanted to, and I felt like that really helped me a lot. So I'm happy for your pops, and happy for just getting a job and getting the income rolling in and all that good stuff. So I think it's great news. I'm glad Emily's okay. That sounded like a close call, but everything worked out. Tyler, your road trip's looking pretty awesome so far. Uh, Trippy's looking fantastic. That murdered out paint job looks great, dude. Highly impressed. Looks fantastic. And I think you should 100% do the funny videos. I think I've been saying that for a long time, really, but I think your ideas are hilarious, and start putting together some things. I think you're going to be great at that. Seth, I loved your work perspective and on the convention, um, and also I actually overheard a conversation between Seth and his boss man, or one of the higher ups, and it sounded like it went really well from an outsider's perspective, not knowing really know what's going on. This guy sounded pretty impressed with Seth, and so that was pretty cool to actually witness firsthand. So congrats on that, Seth. AJ, first off, I'm pumped that you're reading that book, and yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think when I first read it, I was just like so obsessed with it. Thought it was like the best thing ever, and uh, I've reread it not that long ago too, and still great, dude. It's fucking awesome. It's perfect for this talk about legacy because we're talking about a guy who lived from 4 BC, I believe, to 65 AD. So basically 2,000 years ago. And a lot of his writings and stuff that they have are like letters to Lucius or whatever that dude's name is, his brother, and his mom. Like that book's just fantastic, and that's like an example of journaling and how journaling could potentially lead to a legacy 2,000 years from now. Potentially, who knows, man? If you got some really good shit to say and you end up doing some cool things, that would be dope. But I thought that was great um, that you brought up that book and for legacy, and I think it's just like a perfect little uh, tie-in right there. So in my mind, what I first started thinking about when you said, "What do I think of legacy?" and it brought me back to a point in time, actually on a ski trip with Seth and Steve, 2015, I want to say something like that, 2014 maybe even, or 15, one or the other. But I was just walking home from they were at a bar. Everyone, we were all at a bar, and I decided to walk home early, just get a chill out. I wasn't really drinking much then, so I went back and smoked a bowl. But on my way, on my walk to back to the house, I just remember just walking and kind of having one of those surreal moments, looking at the stars that are just shining crazy bright in the sky, super clear night in the mountains. Um, and I remember thinking of like how this all these stars explode and like the Big Bang and how different things went in different directions and how like one thing hit something else that hit something else that created this perfect chemistry that created this Earth that we're on right now and all the different minerals and things that make the Earth the Earth. I just had like that thought from looking at the stars, and then it got me to thinking even more so to like the butterfly effect of everything. So like kind of what I think AJ, or no, not AJ, Seth, you were talking about how just like your impact versus legacy. The impact that you could have a huge impact on someone by just saying hello or smiling at somebody. They smile back. Next thing you know, they feel a little bit better because they just smiled, and that's kind of how things work. Um, and like having those tiny little ripple effects on people. And like I started thinking a lot about the butterfly effect that I'm having on the world 200 years from now. From saying like maybe not even through directly my legacy, but perhaps inspiring somebody that goes on to do greater things than I, and they make a big impact on the world. That makes a big impact on the world, makes a big impact on the world, and kind of goes through the generations constantly. It makes, and at the end of the day, like 2,000 years later, who knows what the impact my little talk with somebody had on the entire world. So I thought a lot about that ripple effect, and I base a lot of my actions, or I try to at least, on creating positive ripple effects. I think it's like I believe in karma, and it's just like an energetic form of karma, and so that got legacy versus impact. Um, that's what first came up to me, is that moment in Denver, walking home and having that thought, and just wanting to make my ripple effect a good one, ultimately, or a helpful, beneficial one, however you want to look at it. And also, I have actually done the eulogy exercise that Kenny talks about in the 7 Habits of Thinking Big. Also, coincidentally, in a very similar time period, I think it might have been 2016, but it was right around that same time that I had that epiphany. But I attached a PDF to check it out, do a little scan of it, and you guys can check it out if you want. But I kind of figured I'd just go ahead and read through a couple things on here. And it's cool to do. It's great. I think journaling is a great idea. I think you should totally do it, AJ. I think everyone should do it if they feel so driven to do so, because it is extremely fun to go back and read through your journals and just to see where you were thinking on that day and that moment of time. For example, I got like a few years worth of journals right here. One from AJ, my boy, got a sweet travel journal. But yeah, I'm a huge proponent of it, and I have gone back and read through some shit, and it's great. It's affirming, and it's also gives you perspective. So highly recommend. I think it's a great idea. So in the exercise, it has one for family, and then the character that you want them to remember you by, and I put down attentive, amiable, available to help when needed, caring and helpful, fun to be around, insightful, knowledgeable, creative thinker, reliable, and loving. My contribution to my family, I want to provide my family with experiences that they may not have enjoyed, be helpful, provide a boost of any aspect to their lives they may need or want. For achievements, which I that was a little tougher, but I want to be someone a family member can look to for advice, as well as company or someone to enjoy moments with. For my friends, I want to be known as loyal, available, helpful, inspirational, considerate, compassionate, fun, deep thinking, creative, and enjoyable. The contribution I want to have is I want to provide inspiration to do bigger things and optimize talents. Put them in a position to succeed if possible, give quality advice, motivate. As far as work goes, and achievements, I just quoted that, same as family. Work, I want to have excellent work ethic. I got attention to detail. I'm insightful, creative, productive, efficient, and helpful. A natural leader, inspiring and motivating. And I want to contribute by inspiring, leading those around me to go above and beyond the call of duty, as well as what they expect from themselves. Create and develop team chemistry and positive atmosphere for employees and associates. And for achievements, I want to create multiple quality and efficient businesses or teams that people would love to work for or play for. Community, I want to be helpful, thoughtful, considerate, cooperative, productive, and provide. And I want to contribute role models. I want to be a role model to young people, coach, teacher, lead by example, inspire kids, show possibilities, which kind of goes into a lot of what you guys were talking about, especially AJ, and on your like wanting to provide for your descendants and the legacy you create through your actions. And because I really believe kids and people just learn through seeing, well, for sure me, but like just seeing what people are doing. Like, yeah, do as I say, not as I do is a fallacy, and I think that doesn't work. So it's lead by example and making those tiny choices throughout your day to lead by example, create the impact, smile at the person, open the door for somebody, go above and beyond to help someone else out. And I think that ties into what all y'all are really saying, you know what I mean? So I think we're all on the same page there. Appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to my little spiel. And I want to say I'm super proud of the legacy that Kenny has adopted and has taken responsibility for, and I'm very proud of him being in control of that family name, and I know Teddy would be super proud, and I know my grandpa would be super proud, and I know everyone in our family is super proud of it. So, want to throw that shout out for sure. Um, and I also liked a lot what Tyler was saying about being okay with being forgotten. I think that's like a powerful exercise. Like um, just realizing how tiny you are in the grand scheme of things. I think is kind of how that boils down to it. I'm a big believer in that. I like even better AJ's perspective on going back and viewing people or viewing your ancestors and where you came from to try to learn and glean where you might have gotten certain qualities from, and like understanding the process of how you got there, to help you be okay with being forgotten. And I feel like that was just like a perfect analogy for healing all kinds of pain of any kind, really. Understanding the process, especially like heartbreak, understanding that it's a process and that it's going to go its course and the world's going to be all right. So going back and understanding it to help you be better in the present. So I thought that was really great. I love the Christmas tree tradition. I think that's great. One thing I gotta say is I gotta stand up for Evely. I hope we got some kind of rotation here. Her year 1 year, and then this year, the next year, type deal. Just felt like I gotta rep for the younger sibling on that one. Oh, and the tattoo legacy that Tyler brought up and that AJ expanded upon. I thought that's a unique way of looking at tattoos for me, and like it's pretty cool that you have all these uh, little pieces of you floating around, and someone shows off your tattoo that you did to them, they show it off to someone else, and like creates joy and excitement with them, and like you're creating that little ripple effect there. So I thought that was kind of dope. And I think it's pretty much and doing everything 100% every time. I think that's great. I love how your coworker kind of adopted that philosophy, and I think it's already paying off for him from what I'm hearing. But it just seems like it would be a pretty solid way to go about things. So those were all the things I kind of wanted to expand upon. And oh yeah, Tyler passing down the surfing. I thought that was cool, passing down sports or hobbies and stuff like that. I didn't watch very much of it, but I watched this like tiny thing on a hunting uh, documentary where he's just talking about like it's a family tradition, like you passing down a rite of passage type of deal, and I think that's pretty cool with the surfing. Um, and yeah, journaling, I love it, and then planting trees. Yeah, man. Oh, and then on the things I want to say, conclude, consent, whatever, the CCC, say yes to ayahuasca trip. I think that would be dope. Or any kind of trip. I've heard of like Arby Marcus and his crew doing like the Wim Hof trip, where they go getting some cold ass water. I love some cold ass water, but I think that'd be a super dope experience if anyone else is down. I don't know. It's probably not the cheapest thing in the world, but I think it'd be fucking great, and I think it'd be a great bonding and a great great thing for everybody. So that was dope. I say yes to that or trip of any kind. Doesn't matter. Hopefully y'all are going to be out there camping with me here soon. Kind of, in honor of my birthday, but just to get together more than anything. Miss you guys. And AJ logo, where's it at, bro? Nah, just kidding. But you're the man for the job, 100%. So I think it'd be cool to have a little logo. And then Tyler's comment on the music and videos, like 200 years from now, and how many different, like there's already a ridiculous amount of options for music and videos, but imagining that 200 years from now is kind of ridiculous and fun. It's a fun thought. And also, I have the agenda for all of our meetings so far saved, and whatever videos I got saved too, and for basically all that same reason that we are just talking about. I think it'd be dope to go back and look at it one day. And just cool. It's cool. Kind of reflect where the groups came from and where we're headed. And yeah, you got to know where you came from, understand where you're headed. And it's great, dude. Great meeting. Thanks, AJ, for that. Big shout out to Seth for throwing our material out a nice week and a half in advance, man. Give me time to pick and choose when I can make time for it, man. So I appreciate that. And I will see you guys on Monday. I will be there or be square. I don't know how to be square, so I'll be there. See you.